It's the next day and still can't catch a break. Yeah, feels like I'm gonna make mistakes. Yeah, can't wait until I catch him slipping, slipping, slipping. They got me messed up. How they gonna come around me talking shit? Acting like he ain't got my bags of shit. I've been waiting for a couple of weeks. I'm done with that shit. Click, click, clack, and I'm straight coming. You can catch me in the hood, yeah, I'm straight coming. On the gordy, gordy, out in the alley, alley. Yeah, I'm stalking you out proudly, proudly. Yeah, I want that bag, want that money back. Don't bother act like you don't know where it's at. I've been waiting for a long time, that's flat. Now you're taking the piss, I'ma come straight for that. Yeah, straight gunning, gunning, yeah, I'm straight gunning. I see how you're hiding, running with my money. And now you gon' have to take what's coming. Ain't no fun thing, ain't no gameplay. I'ma show you how I slay, 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 slay. Get out my way, way before I come spray, spray. Yeah, you should never come this to me today, day. I've had enough, now it's time to play, play. Hey, why you wanna slip around me? Why you wanna do this to me? Why you wanna go against me? Boy, you want the real homie. Why you wanna do this to me? Why you wanna switch games from me? I thought you was a true homie. Playing games on me. Strategy. You should know what would happen, G. You was part of the family, so you know what we did to others that come through. Wanna act like they got mad game, no voodoo. I put them to... Yo, 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 yo. Boom. What's going on, people? Hope everyone blessed and that. Get me when you come along to see this shit. Boom. Anyway, y'all must have heard, like a bird call, that Brother Polite got locked up, right? I mean, I'm gonna show you the difference right now between y'all and me. And I say it like that, everybody. You see, moments like this, you're supposed to be partying, congratulating the moment that something, like, let me say it again. Moments like this, you're supposed to be celebrating or using it as an advantage. You know what I'm saying? Like, this could give people a boost of confidence that's in these situations or know of people in these situations, right? You know what I'm saying? So this could help boost people's confidence to go forward with court cases or blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would expect to be seeing. I would expect to be seeing people going live that have maybe been in a situation, like, you know, may have been touched at some point or whatever. And you know what I'm saying? And doing something about it, or even kids, something recent, something not too recent. And opportunity, things like this, knowing people getting locked. Wherefore, a lot of people in the hood, they keep their mouth shut, right? And just let this shit happen. Knowing that these people can get locked now, y'all should be jumping up to these opportunities, right? Do you get what I'm saying, or do you not? And what I mean opportunities, because it's not even an opportunity. I'm just showing certain times, right, when certain cases come up, the doors open. You notice that. Like, it could be a subject of police abuse to somebody, right? And once one goes like mainstream, right, then you'll start hearing stories of other people's and shit like that. Everybody wants to get it like out there then, because the gateway's open. Do you understand? Like, to get noticed, if you know what I'm trying to say. It's like high level of concern, what happened, and then people want to hear more cases of the same. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying you can just use this. How you doing, Angie? You're right. Good morning, Seven. Have a wonderful day. Yeah, man. I'm having a good day. I'm hot. I've been gymming, everything. Yo, hey, I've had to come out of the sun. It's too hot. Too hot. Boss that beer of lot of sweat. Bust that bare sweat and all them thing there.
You know what I'm saying? Like, now I'm just resting, get me? Trying to get my fluid back up, you know what I'm saying? Get me? Working, going gym in fucking weather like this. Trust me, it's a killer. A killer. All week it's been a killer for me, you know. Nothing but sweat. You know what I'm trying to say? Loving the comments though that I get from people though when they see me in the gym or walking home or whatever I do. Get me? Like today I walked home. Yesterday I walked home too. Get me? And the comments that I was getting like, yo, hey, your body this, your body that. Yeah, no, thank you very much. It made me feel good. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't flaunt about like that. I really don't. You might have seen one picture or two pictures of me on YouTube with my top off and that, but that's nothing. That don't mean I'm that kind of guy in real life. You know what I'm trying to say? So when people do see me, they're like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? Got no top on, that is. Whoa, can't stand the heat. Yo, the heat is hot right now. It is baking. It is baking. But yeah, I mean, I'll put the link in the chat if you want to call in at any point. You can if you want. You don't have to. I just put it in the chat anyway, just in case someone comes along. But yeah, I'm just talking. I'm just giving my input about Brother Polite. I'm not really sitting here talking his case. Nah, I don't need to. We all know what happened with that. You understand? I'm trying to say my anger in all this is people can work from this right now. People can work from this right now. They can either pull up cases they're going through themselves or concerns of their own and talk about it, you know, while the mainstream's open for these subjects and this topic. Do you understand? Or they can throw a motherfucking party and celebrate, you understand, and pass the message that way. You know what I'm saying? There's no point in doing. I will give a big shout out to Unseen. Shout out to Unseen. I seen your video, bro. It's your video that I seen that let me know about it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known. Well, I would have known because once I watched your video, I think it was like a few hours later, or maybe the next day. That's when I started seeing all these other content creators like putting it up. Now it must have been hours later. Then I seen all these other content creators, you know, mentioning the subjects about Brother Polite. But you was the first one. Your video was the first one. I didn't even know it was Unseen. I had to press up on my thing so it shows me whose video it is, and it said Unseen. I was like, God damn, I'm watching Unseen's video and I didn't even know it was Unseen's video. Then I had to check the date just to make sure, because I thought this could be an old Unseen video, but now it was fresh. Unseen was the first one to pull out anything about Thingy Bob that came on my YouTube feeds. Anyway, Unseen shit come through first. About 5 hours later or so, then I seen another content creator talk about it. And then by the next day, that's today, innit? Or was that yesterday? Whatever. I'm seeing loads of content creators talking about it. And that made me say to myself, y'all just sit back and just, like, are y'all bored in your life thinking, what can I go live about? And then something just crops up and then you just all jump on it. I've noticed that airway. How about you change that shit? How about, you wait for certain doors to open, just like this subject. Then you can all say, all right, and cool. Now let's talk about abusive, what either we've been through or boom, 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 and bam, bam, bam. And then you can deal with it while the portal's open. Soon this portal's going to shut. And the next subject's going to be about, let me think. Police abuse. Now, none of y'all don't want to address, like grooming and stuff no more because the window's no longer open. The window's open now, though. Y'all can all talk your subjects and get something done now, though, is my point. Instead of people just jumping up and playing back all content of Brother Polite and stages he went through and shit. So what, nigga? We know what he done. Now work from that. Work from that. Either celebrate, have live streams celebrating, y'all having a party, you know what it's from, you know what I'm saying? And the message will trickle on down the line that way, or discuss your problems. It don't have to be your problems, it could be somebody else's, but talk about it while the portal's open. It's going to shock, you know. That's what, haven't you ever noticed? I've always said, listen, you're only hot topic for a week or two, then to talk about somebody else. I've decoded this YouTube matrix, and that's a fact. You're only going to be hot topic on these YouTube streets for a week or two. Then they're going to talk about someone else. So don't stress, everybody. Why are you going to stress for? Okay? It's just something, they just need to talk about something, but sooner or later, something will come and take your place. Right? I used to give that message out on YouTube all the time. But, you know, some people, like, I guess, whatever, you know, it affects people differently, right? People can't handle certain, even though I'm teaching them, you know, if anything, YouTube should teach you how to be strong. How to be strong. That's what this shit, you should learn from this shit. How to be strong. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, boom. As for Brother Polite, though, yeah, I mean, y'all should be celebrating. Y'all should be talking your talks while the portal's open. You know, maybe something can get done and for y'all situation, and God bless that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, y'all, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to True Freeman. And notice that you went live. I seen a message. I seen the notification that you're talking about this thing too. I'm gonna have to go and take a look at your shit at some point just to see what's going on, you know. But anyway, it's the same effect. It's the same effect for everybody, man. Even I don't know what you're saying, True Freeman. I'm not throwing no daggers at you. I don't know what you're saying, but I'm just gonna throw everybody under the same umbrella right now. You get me? Rather than just doing streams in the hope of donations, like normal streams, talking about something, right? Address it properly. Y'all got your own concerns in that field, then bring it out in that field. Do you understand? Use time wisely. Use time wisely. Like, if this whole grooming thing with RE and shit was still like kind of hot topic or whatever, but I could be using that right now. I could be using that right now. You get me? I could be using that. I could be pumping it out there. Like, boom, boom, boom. See, you should be getting locked up too. You should be getting locked up too. Look at blah, 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 getting locked up. Yeah, he was fucking bitches than that. But, you know, even though RE wouldn't fit into the same kind of category, she's a female, whatever. Boom, boom, boom. But same subject is the same kind of subjects in it. So you use the time wisely, you get me? Get me? But, you know, we all know how this one's going to play out, right? On that note, let it be played out. Get me? While I play out.
Ooh, don't you like certain types of beats just makes you wanna just float, you know?
Ooh, yeah, yo.
Like sounds of the gods.
I said now, ooh, yeah, yo.
Music can just control you, you know? Hey,
You love good music, yeah, yo. Yeah, yo.
Hey,
You like
yo.
good music, yeah, yo.
Yeah, yo.
Yeah, yo.
Yeah,
The music,
yo.
the type to take control of your soul.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
like
yo.
good music, yeah, yo. Hey,
Yo, I'm feeling the vibe. I really come alive when I'm outside or even inside the club with the music's beating, the bass beat hooking me, making me feel nice and bubbly, jubbly, jump up and down, drinking drink, getting my head so fucked I can't think, but I know what time it is, and I'ma keep on showing how I skank this shit. Yo, 3-step, 2-step, 1-step, stepper. I be doing it on the dance floor. I reckon trainers, shoes, I will abuse as long as I can show everybody the blues. Yo, on my dance moves is a damn shame that you can't stay in my lane. Trust me, I can teach you. Yo, come just jump on this beat. You know we keep it
like good music, ayo.
Yeah, yo, I told them below. I told them you know.
Like good
I told them you
music,
know.
yeah,
I told them. I know that you keep
the
it type
to
to
make you wanna get up and dance all through the night. Yeah, yo, you like good music. Yeah, yo.
Now how to understand flow, yo. I know you feel good like this, yo. I know you really feel good like this. The smile on your face, way you dancing up the goddamn place in a disgrace, but you're happy though. Even though you're floating in time with the music, you know. But listen, as long as you're feeling happy, though, get on the dance floor and show me, show me. Everybody see me, I'm out here showing them, not inside watching TV, fearing everyone outside. No, I won't do that, never die like that. I'm dying with pride. Everybody's alive, everybody get up, man, that's what's up. So what you doing now? Get up and come outside to the beat, yeah, where you can feel alive. We in the club, doing what the clubs do, jump it up and down every day in the venue. Yo, sometimes I be a bit still, ain't got the right type of dough to go spend. Yo, stay in the house party, everybody getting mad, kinda crazy, balmy. All types of drinks, types of drugs, so types of hooks from these ladies, because they're looking at damn folk just like me, like me.
Yeah, yo. You like good music, yeah. The type of music to make you want to dance all through the night. You like good music, yeah.
Control me like so. Nice flow, get me feeling my flow, hey.
Yeah.
Nice flows, come and join me, yo, hey. Yo, nice flows.
Okay, so boom, let's move on to some next news. I want to now I've said a lot of things on these YouTube streets. I've said a lot of things, right? Especially when it's come to information based. I'm about to show you a clip, right, of Acorn. Remember Acorn? I'm locked up. They won't let me in. Everybody, that's right. I said in. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna show you a clip from Acorn. And I'm trying to remember some of the things he was saying, but I've preached this shit to y'all. And it's just good to hear another American, you know what I'm saying? An intelligent American, a respectable in American, you know what I'm trying to say? Talking that same shit. Now, yeah, I mean, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play it, man, because like I'm saying, he's talking about just the condition, I guess, of America, right? I guess he is, and how people are just fooled, you know, like saying it's the land of the free and all this stuff and boom, 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 trickery to get you to come over. Remember, I've said things like America's like a test subject country and they use y'all for test subjects, shit like that. Okay, so cool. Let me just go from there. I'm going to play the clip and I'll talk after it.
This world is all about branding and marketing. The number one branders in the universe is the United States. They made United States seem like it's the best place in the world to be. It's the land of the free, home of the brave. I go there to find and chase my dreams. We have to be able to tell our own stories. Directors, filmmakers, entertainers, it's going to be clearly, and the press, it's going to be your job to redefine how people think about Africa. Because you're here, you see what's going on. You clearly can see in a vivid picture the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you choose to put out there is what the world is going to get. Because I can tell you right now, in Chicago alone, there's more people dying in Chicago than there was in the war in Iraq. But you would never see that. There's a lot of things that's happening in the U.S. that you would never see because they choose to show you what they want you to see for, you know? It's about country integrity. You have a certain reputation you have to keep. No one puts their family business out into the street. One of the problems we have in Africa is that when something happens, the press is quick to put out negative energy and quick to put out a negative story. And then that story goes on to internet, and other broadcasting systems take it and they post it. So when you look at places like Kenya, for instance, that I know of, maybe 2 terrorist attacks, but it was everywhere. So now people was afraid to go to Kenya because somebody shot up the mall. But then when you look online, there was over 25,000 attacks in the US, but you only knew about maybe 5 or 6. So we have to really rebrand. And then when you look at how the world perceives Africa, they're right. You know, you see zebras, lions, tigers, bears. Oh my. You get to the point where you think Africa's just a big jungle. The images that they're showing of Africa is historical images. This is way before civilization. This is when they were still, battling with spears, like times of Shaka Zulu. No, I'm serious. But then when you look at the US, they're showing Superman, Batman, Where is our Superman? Where is our, Shaka Zulu should be a superhero today. Really. So we have to tell our own stories. I mean, even Jesus is white. And you believe it. But it's okay, because how you were framed, if you taught something from the day you were born, and your mother taught you that, your father taught you that, it's real. You never look at your mom and your dad as liars. But their mother and father taught them the same thing, because that's the kind of history that's put out for them to believe. Our history books in the US is all white American history, culture that's been borrowed from other nations. But Africa have to teach the same history of our ancestors, the great things that they have accomplished. And it's going to be the jobs of directors like yourself, filmmakers like yourself, to narrate that story. How do we want to be perceived? How do we want that story to be narrated to the rest of the world? This younger generation, we kind of figured it out. Because now, when you look at hip-hop in America, every rapper is rich. Gold chains, Bentleys, nice girls by the pool with bathing suits in this big mansion. And then, when the video's over, they get on their phone and call an Uber. They don't even come in the Bentley that you just saw in the TV. But you go to Nigeria, we got Wizkid, Davido, P-Square, all these guys driving a Bentley, Mercedes. They actually own those cars. That's the difference. But if we don't translate that, they will never know. They think we're going to leave the shoot and go home on a horse or a zebra. Because that's what they know. This is why African Americans are so afraid of Africa. You mention Africa, they start shaking. There's so much fear. They don't know how to translate that. It was just recent that people are now saying, yeah, man, you know what? I rock with Africans, man. You know what I'm saying? I want to do some collaborations, man. Yo, man, I need an Afrobeat remix. You know what I'm saying? But before, they'd be like, man, I don't know that dude. I'm not putting him on my record. So the younger generation is slowly understanding how you have to rebrand the culture, because the culture has adapted. They've actually took everything that we've created and made it look better. They made a superstar look like a superstar. When I look on TV and I see our biggest entertainers, they don't look like stars. That's why you can't really respect the entertainer. If a politician saw a singer, he'd just be like, oh, he's just a local singer. But if he go to that local singer's performance, he may sell out the stadium because he has a huge influence, but the image is not there. So we have to take the image as a huge accountability for ourselves and realize that Africa really does have a reputation. But if we allow our stories to be told, our stories will be told according to their agenda on what they need to be able to benefit from Africa. So we have to tell our story so we can be able to understand how we can utilize that story to benefit for our agenda. You know? So in closing, this job is for the entertainers, the filmmakers, the reporters, and anyone that creates content. We have to rebrand. And we have to rebrand it in the way that we see it and tell the story to where they can understand it, feel comfortable, and want to come here and invest.
Well, I mean, I've talked. Look how many streams you've had, and I've said to y'all, "Hey, we need to go back to the motherland and build." How many times, everybody? How many fucking times, yo? Get me? I believe only also. You know what? You can get so much from this video. It shows Black America's brainwashed. Black America's brainwashed. They don't even want to talk about going back to Africa, like Akon just said. So they're brainwashed, like they fucked up your mind so much to believe in their adverts and shit, and that Africa's just like a desert. Even though some Black people know the difference, know the truth, but that's what it's the same. Listen, it's crazy because all races are going to pick up a certain message from it. And it might be a different message as well at that. Like white people seeing that shit might think something completely different than Black. That's crazy. That is actually crazy though. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know what to say, man. There's so much. I'm going to actually watch that video a few times after the fact and, just dissect some shit. That's some crazy shit, yo. Shout out to Akon. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, on to my next subject.
I was on so long. I was on so long. I was on so long.
Yo, I smoke weed and go get money. Relax the mind and go get money. Get real hyped and go get money. In the snow, in the rain, or the sun, get money. People acting dumb, well I go get money. Hype night, hype ting, go get money. People wanna run around bang, bang, banging. Understand that gang, gang, gang ting. Go, go, go and go get.
Oh, okay, so I got a next video, right? And the reason why I'm showing this video, I never completed the whole video I wanted to show you. So I'm just going to show you a part, and then I'm going to just going to tell you the part that you ain't going to see. Then I play the video. Okay, so I watched the video, right? And it was based on Speaker's Corner, right? And it was having some conversation about inferiority. Who's inferior of who? You know, trying to say Black people are inferior of everybody because, we so low down. And the Black guy was arguing that, saying, now melanin makes us more superior than anybody. So anyway, right? That's the part you're not going to see. But I'm just going to bring some proof. We're just going to hear a man talk. You're going to see some pictures of Black people. And let's just hear what the scientists say. That's all. Okay. I wish I had the first bit to show you, though, the little part of the Speaker's Corner, because I would have showed you that as to why I'm showing you this. But let's just go straight to the scientists. Okay.
Why are some of the world's most handsome, charismatic, strong, and powerful personalities Black? Whether it's bodybuilding, sports like NBA, athletics, and more, Blacks have dominated them all. But that's not it. Today, white women want to marry Black men. The same is true for white men who want to marry Black women. Why is that so? Everything comes to Black people's superior genes that make them most attractive and better equipped for survival than the rest. But how is that so? Is it true that Blacks have superior genes that give them leverage and make them a better choice by nature? Welcome to a new episode of Black Culture Diary, a channel where we talk about less known and hidden Black history, culture, arts, and lost civilization. We scrutinize history here to bring the black culture back on the surface again. In this episode, we will explain black genetics and how black genes are dominant. The goal of this video is education, not discrimination. Let's get started. Black people have manifested how they are better equipped for survival. We always discuss laws, principles, and fairness in the human world. However, nature is quite otherwise. Nature does not care who is more ethical. Rather, the better equipped person will survive. Simply, it's called survival of the fittest. And black people seem to be an example. It is believed that black people are genetically gifted. But is that the truth? Well, the answer is yes. For example, let's take a closer look at sprinting. Jim Hines, a black man, was the first to break the 10-second barrier in 1968. Only individuals of black descent had broken this barrier until 2003 when Patrick Johnson, an Aboriginal from Australia, became the first non-African descendant to do so. Whether Aboriginals are considered black is a personal opinion. However, from 2003 to 2010, only individuals of black descent continued to break the 10-second barrier. Basketball is a sport where over 70% of the NBA players are black. Although height can be important, black people's athletic and explosive abilities likely contribute to their success in this sport. American football is also an explosive sport, with over 70% of NFL players being black. When it comes to bodybuilding, Lee Haney and Ronnie Coleman, both black men, hold the record for the most Mr. Olympia titles with 8 each. Arnold Schwarzenegger was a strong contender, but Phil Heath, another black individual, has also made a name for himself in bodybuilding. Kai Green, another black individual, was his rival for a long time, proving that blacks are physically superior. But why are blacks so muscular, strong, and attractive? Well, the answer lies in 5 reasons. Reason 1. Genetic diversity. Africa is the only continent on the planet which has the absolute form of genetic diversity. In other words, you will find people with every type of gene there. And when people with different strong genes marry, they produce children with more dominant genes than themselves. And this strengthening process continues. This has been happening in Africa since the first human was born. Although Africa's population is only 1.4 billion, it's still more genetically diverse than the rest of the world's 6 billion people. As a result, Africa is likely to contain a vast range of genetic traits, with genetic extremes being particularly common. Take, for instance, the Dinka people in South Sudan, who are the world's tallest, and the Ambuti people in the Democratic Republic of Congo, who are the world's shortest. Both of these groups live in Africa, which is also home to the fastest and most muscular people on the planet. However, it's essential to remember that not all people grouped as black have the same DNA. Just because 2 men from China or Pakistan are from the same continent of Asia doesn't imply that they share the same DNA. Similarly, not all people who are considered black share the same DNA. Therefore, while black people may dominate certain sports, many different DNA groups excel in various sports. But one thing is clear: black Africans have diverse genes to choose from. Reason 2. Natural selection. Black Africans have supremacy due to natural selection. In a nutshell, natural selection is when the environment determines which genes will survive. Take 2 deers, for example. One runs faster while the other is slow. If a predator like a lion is chasing both, the faster deer will make it out alive. As time passes, the fast deer will live longer, passing on its genes, while the slower one won't be so lucky. It's pure natural selection, which can be unfair and brutal. In Africa, natural selection has played a massive role in shaping the genetic diversity of its people. The malaria epidemic ravaged West Africa. In case you're not familiar with this vicious disease, it spreads through mosquito bites and invades the red blood cells, causing them to multiply. West Africans have lower hemoglobin levels on average and a higher prevalence of sickle cell traits and sickle cell anemia. While this may seem like a health issue, it's a massive advantage against malaria. With fewer red blood cells, the disease has less chance to spread throughout the body. Thus, those without these traits likely perished, while those with them survived and passed on their genes. Yes, another example of natural selection. What's more, these genetic traits have also influenced the muscle fiber types present in black people. With lower hemoglobin and sickle cell traits, there is less production of red blood cells, leading to a lower percentage of slow-twitch muscle fibers that require oxygen. Instead, there's a higher percentage of fast-twitch muscle fibers that don't require oxygen. This is an intriguing characteristic of black people, underscoring the fascinating ways natural selection has sculpted their genetic structure. Simply, they are better equipped to develop muscles. Before we continue further, tell us, are you enjoying the video? If yes, please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos on black culture, history, civilization, and natural superiority. Let's continue now. Reason 3. Power gene. Genetics plays a critical role in athletic performance, and the power gene, ACTN3, is a prime example of this. ACTN3 produces alpha-actinin 3, a protein that generates power and force. However, this gene has two versions: the good version, which is the R allele, and the bad version, which is the X allele. Inheriting two copies of the R allele, one from the mother and one from the father, enables individuals to produce significant power and force. While one R allele and one X allele can still generate much power, it's not as much as the RR genotype. Unfortunately, inheriting two copies of the X allele severely limits the body's ability to produce power, as it cannot create enough alpha-actinin 3. Interestingly, the XX genotype is most common among Asians, comprising approximately 25% of the population. For white people, it's around 18%, while for black people, less than 1% have the XX version. Remarkably, 99% of West Africans possess the good version of the gene, which gives them extra power and force. Reason 4. Myostatin. Our muscles produce a protein hormone called myostatin. Its job is to regulate the growth and development of skeletal muscles by controlling the number and size of muscle fibers. However, myostatin is not always an ally for athletes and bodybuilders looking to build muscle. It acts as a negative regulator of muscle growth by inhibiting the activity of a protein called ACT, which is involved in muscle growth and protein synthesis. In other words, bodybuilders do not want myostatin. Naturally, blacks have mutations in their myostatin genes, which can reduce the amount of myostatin produced by their bodies. This can lead to muscle hypertrophy, a condition where individuals have a much greater potential to develop and maintain large, strong muscles. Interestingly, people of sub-Saharan African descent have been found to have a higher prevalence of myostatin mutations than other populations, which could explain why many elite athletes from this region are able to achieve impressive levels of muscular development and strength. Reason 5. Androgen receptors. Did you know that your muscles won't grow properly without androgen receptors? These receptors are activated by androgen hormones such as testosterone, essential for muscle growth and secondary sex characteristics development. But here's the interesting part. Research has shown that people of African descent tend to have higher androgen receptor sensitivity than other populations. In other words, they can build muscles quickly and easily. While this can be advantageous for building muscle mass, it also puts them at higher risk for certain health conditions, such as prostate cancer. Did you know why black people are so attractive and strong? Does not black genetics show why black people exist even today and have not gone extinct, despite being the first humans to originate? Simply, their genes are dominant and won't be replaced. Let us know your opinions about whether there is any other race whose genes have survived for millions of years and are still present. You know the answer. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it. We have decided to bring videos on something nobody is talking about: the black culture, civilization, history, and the evidence proving black superiority. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay tuned.
I learned something new watching that, you know. Because I've got sickle cell, I've got less chance of catching malaria. So not only did the white man give me sickle cell, but he gave me superpowers against malaria. That's gangster. That's gangster, yo. Hold on, let me refresh my camera thing. Let me refresh my screen. put my tweets that pic of Bruce Lee or Bruce Lee, Bruce Lee, Bruce Lee, Bruce Lee, Bruce Lee. Images. Oh, there you go. You like good music? Hey yo. Anyway, as I was saying, hey, look at this picture. Gangster picture. Picture is gangster. I need to make it full. I need to make it wide and fill the screen. Shit. But look at that picture though. Gangster. You know what I'm saying? Get me? That's an elite. But I don't know why they put Jean-Claude Van Damme in the bottom right. I don't know why he's there. But yeah. That should be me right there. Get him out of the way. He don't need to be there. But anyway, boom. As I was saying, malaria. I'm immune to it. Malaria, you know, that's crazy. You understand? They came with the apox. Get me? Some died, some multiplied, some stayed alive. You know what I'm saying? And from that, sickle cell came, and I'm immune from malaria. That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh, you know. I saw it go. So anyway, the shows that I've shown today, right? Let me just go over a little recap before I did. Where are the shows? Did I delete it? Shit. Well, listen. We talked about Brother Polite. You understand? Like, boom, y'all should. You know what? I don't even know why I come with these messages because people just not switched on like that. You know, get me? Like, they're here just to, I don't know what. But listen, boom. We come with some topics today. You know what I'm saying? Just to keep you aware. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know. I mean, like, you must have heard about these killer bees. So I'm sure that's going to be a topic to be spoke about at some point. But at the same time, that might be dangerous. That might start flagging. But we're going to see what happens. Anyway, boom, I'm going to leave this until another day. There's going to be some Chris Cole news, everybody. And some Brother Polite. And some proving some cases, should I say. Like, hey, you know, when facts enters the room, everybody runs. It just shows you demons, yo. Demons, yo. Anyway, boom. I'm Audi. Blesses and peace. Oh, 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 boy. Oh, yeah. Man, I wanna try test me on the block. I'm like, hell no, hell no, hell no. Man, I wanna try jump up on my spot. I'm like, hell no, hell no, hell no. So why they wanna try and reach my spot? I'm like, hell no, hell no, hell no. Man, I wanna try and jump to the top. I'm like, hell no, hell no, hell no, hell no, yeah. Ready for war, and I'm standing out tall, 6'5", standing alive, and no one dropped me yet. I've been on the set for a long time and living in no regret. And I come with straight proof in the set. And if you don't like, better just turn and forget. Because I get real hype and I'm ready to fight. And if you don't like that type, go home, day night. Don't time to come around acting like you're down with the sound. Never that clown. I got my crew with me and they're ready. Can't you see the smoking and the selling that ecstasy? Everybody ready. Cocaine takers. Everybody's out on the dance floor just to shake up. The energy is nice. Ladies don't
food. Come around me, I will take them to the hood. We can have a house party after this club do. Yeah, you know how we gonna run through all of you. Which one is first? You, lady, you, baby, looking so crazy. Press them bumpers just to show out. I'm about to blow out if I don't get count. I want 9 of the girls in my bed, ho. I want 9 of the girls in my bed, yo. I ain't got no time to lie about nothing. Ain't steady bluffing. I'm real toughin'. Catch me in the ring. I can punch out this stuffing. Ha, do you see me smiling? Ain't no bluffing. Come around, sit down on the cushion. You the type to have a DD in your back teeth. Do that. Nah, I'm not cocky. I'm just the one, realest one in the party.
Yeah. Oh. Lottie-dottie, we likes the party. Don't smoke weed, nah, that's a lie. I smoke all the time until the day I die. And if you don't like, walk that way, bye-bye. Bitch ass, I'ma smoke out your house, man. Bitch ass, I'ma smoke out this place, man. Bitch ass, I'ma smoke in your face, man. Bitch ass, I said you bitch ass, you's a lame. Acting like you got better game than me, cause you don't smoke. Joke, shut up, walk away that way. Look at your life, it's stressful, so joke. Don't come and judge me, cause you don't like the style that I put out here. I go the wild, gotta do this and provide for my job. So just keep your thoughts them quiet. Yeah, look at you, fat, on a diet. Look at me, yeah, I keep it slim, I'm quiet. Yo, I do everything nice for the scene. You do nothing but moan at the team. You the type to jump out of your car and start going on just like a damn retard. That's exactly like what would you wanna fight? But you will lose, kid. I don't give a damn. I'm the type to just bruise, kid. Like Bruce Lee, I'ma show you my style. It's so damn ugly, cause the way I leave you all messed up, and your blood's in your gut on the floor and stuff. And if you don't like that, then call my bluff, and I will meet you outside and see who's tough. And I call your bluff, cause you was nothing but chicken stuffing. Acting like you a ragamuffin. So I cough in your face, bitch ass nigga. Do you wanna taste steak this size? Kick in your face, it's 11. Put you on the bus, take your car, your whip, and go and sell that shit. Yeah, I don't care about you, you is a dipstick. I'ma put it out, down, like I just got a lick, and I'ma sell it to your mom, she prick. Yo, we coming back, stars legit. And if you don't like my style, then suck on dicks. Not mine though, but I'm keeping legit. I like the ladies, cause I think it's so damn fine, yo. All of the time, yo, I love that shit. I'm gonna keep it going, I'ma take this shit. All the women in the world, I loving them. Not you, no, not talking to men. Yeah, if we keep going with a real problem, there's souls in this earth that be dying, cause they keep lying, acting like the gangster, but they ain't nothing. Prankster, jump up and down like a clown, do. I'ma show you my voodoo, put it on you, bless you, make it a good do. And if you can't do that, go on your curfew, go and clean your bedroom, go sleep. Till next week, you just a cheap bitch ass nigga. I'ma show you I'm on a deeper scale, dominant male. That's in very detail. Show you how I come back here, put it on the scales. Very big, 6'5", come with the high though. I said we come with the high though. Yo, my style so alive though. I said we come with the high though. Yo, my style so alive though. I said we come with the high though. Yo, my style so alive though.